Starting lineup: Gwen, Warwick, Yone, Fortune, Olaf, up against Jax, Diana, Ari, Vex, Galio. Rating of the picks for a casual game: Gwen as a top. 10. Warwick in the jungle. 8. Yone as a mid. 7. Fortune as a shooter. 7. Jax as a top. 9. Diana in the jungle. 3. Ari as a mid. 6. Vex as a shooter. 8. Galio in support. 9. You're in this game. We're gonna have this Ari player with a magnificent skin. Aren't they all? We're gonna have this Galio player dressing up like a chicken. This Jax boy with a beautiful name having to call it quits early. And this Warwick player trying to prove himself desperately in the casual beginner community. Let's get to it. In this opening play, we make a tribute to one of the greatest repeats of the channel, the value that fighter types can bring. We have here a situation in this Fortune player who is incapable of leveraging her offensive capacity against a deliberate mismatch in Vex and Galio. If you had a Leona player here or a Karma player here, you would just have to grin and bear it. Inherent to fighter types such as Olaf or Warwick or Wukong is that they are incredibly well-rounded. Usually you're supposed to hide behind me. I'm a fighter, so I have a little bit of everything. We can flip roles and I can provide that damage output. This is all without any items inherent to the high natural attack that a fighter type can provide. You catch the enemy team off guard because they didn't expect the damage to come from the other guy. Olaf, aka Mr. Feelgood, aka Captain Clutch, both the reckless swing ability as well as the vicious strikes are extremely flashy abilities that allow him to come back out of nowhere and blow enemies away in clutch situations. This reckless swing will end up being accelerated as my auto attack keeps going. The vicious strike surprises Vex, catches him off guard because he doesn't understand that with my natural health regen, I can always climb back into a fight. In this kind of situation, it can also be really helpful if you put a bit of health on Fortune, so we can completely keep the other party guessing as to who they should take out first. We enjoy this quick little sequence featuring the downfall of Jax as well as Fortune. This Jax player, perhaps here after a couple of defeats, getting very tilted, quietly tilted, and about 12 minutes or 14 minutes in is going to leave this game to never come back. And you're clearly having completely unreasonable expectations here. The assumption that you're somehow going to outdo both this Gwen player and this Warwick player at the same time is just a bizarre idea to have. In the bottom lane with this Fortune player, we have an opportunity to learn the basics of the game, and we understand why nobody should explain to you that it is bad to hang around somewhere with 1 HP left. If you have some basic level of pride, this is something that you understand by default. But for many members in the League of Legends community, this is yet another great way to blame your teammates. As though I can possibly do anything about something like that. Both of these deaths are self-inflicted, and if you want to lose, you will lose. we have the opportunity to enjoy one of the dumbest plays in this game, which is really saying something. We're gonna have this RE player turret diving after this Yone. This Yone player not even really at 1 HP or something, still has a good little chunk of health left, and if you cannot understand it, then you will have to feel it, that the turret is still undefeated. This Warwick and Fortune player are going to follow me around to the Drake. That Fortune ultimate should be powerful for jungle objectives. 3 behaviorisms that stand out here. 1. This Yone player only sticks around to wait until the enemy team is low health and then pops all of his abilities at once to try to steal the kill. There are 2 ways in which this is illogical and pathetical. Number 1, if anybody caught on, you would lose every fight because people could just wait you out. Since you save up all of your damage, you would go down in every duel. Number 2, you are so idiotic that you do not understand that if you want to kill snipe everything, that there are special items for that will help you way more than just waiting everything out. These types of players like this Yone are parasites. They play League of Kill Sniping, not League of Legends. You can't use them in a proper fight because they're always content as long as they get the final blow on things, no matter what the outcome is. Number 2, this RE player clearly has the tendency to, whenever she is capable of hitting anybody with the charm spell, immediately wanting to finish them off, which is not really how the charm spell works. And so she will end up chasing after this Warwick player, showing absolutely no restraint. In poker, this would be the equivalent of going all in on everything, no matter what the circumstances are, and there's a reason why that is not done. The third thing we can discern in this play is what you get when you go Kraken and Ruined King on Warwick. Warwick ends up transforming into Jinx, and you end up being forced to pathetically hide behind me in the hopes that I will stand in the way of those coming after you, which makes you a kind of Barbie Warwick, which just goes to show you again that most of these behaviorisms are inspired by the default axis on which shame and pride are the 2 extremes. And if you have no shame whatsoever, you end up like this Warwick player. And it is precisely those people, as Adam Carolla has once described France after the Second World War, who owe others the most, who will give you the least thanks of all. They lead a deeply unhappy life because they're ashamed about everything. And that is typically the makeup of this type of Warwick player. You're trying to freeload off of everybody, you're hiding like an insect, you're not playing your role, you're ashamed of it, and that is why you are afraid to communicate with others, give them their props, cooperate with them, try to win as a team. You can't do any of those things because on a personal level you are broken. And the only way to give somebody else their props or their proper due is by acknowledging your situation, which is something that people like you can never do. Because then you would have to face yourself. This Jack's going to breathe his last because leaving before too long, Galio will end up pretty quickly abandoning the bot lane and this Vex is going to follow suit. Complete chaos will arise for this red team. As a result, we're gonna have this Warwick kill stealing from the kill stealer with Kraken and the Ruined King, and then vanishing when there's any work to be done in terms of the turrets. Going to let this Yone player die by himself. This Yone player and this Warwick player will become sweet with each other, and in general, all of these people just absolutely delightful to deal with. You end up with this brawl very close to the Baron, and at long last, not putting a penny toward defense is going to harm and hurt this Warwick, as there's simply too many people that want to get in on the fun, and you don't have the ability to withstand anything beyond what Warwick's natural base stats can offer you. This Galio leaving the bot lane, as well as this German Jax player with the beautiful name quitting, is going to set off a ton of chaos, and the ad-libbing is just not going to suffice. There is no way. Taking a look at this Team Blue, between this Gwen, this Warwick, this Yone, this Fortune, and Olaf, looking purely at the picks, getting an idea for how well they could work together, we would have to say a B. No matter how hard you try, you can't destroy some of that natural tank ability in Warwick in the front line. The result is Olaf, you have a semi-front line of Gwen and Warwick. To facilitate damage, you have this Yone and this Fortune. This is definitely something that could work in and by itself, and it exceeds the organizational potential of most teams, especially in the casuals. Taking a look at this Team Red, between this Jax, Diana, RE, Vex, and Galio, getting an understanding of how well these picks could work together, we would have to say a low B. Vex is a talented damage dealer, and by itself in the casuals, especially a mage in the bot lane, is fine. Ari and Diana are not amazing picks for the casuals in terms of facilitating damage, but you still have this fearsome wall of Galio and Jax being potential frontliners, and people learn the hard way. You never know with Jax around. You always have to be careful. Galio has the ability to absorb a massive amount of damage, and that's definitely offering some playmaking ability. That said, in typical casual style, out of these 5 enemy champions, 4 are magic damage dealers, so that is a low B. Taking a look then at these individuals, getting an understanding of who they were in this game, what kind of behavior they had, what kind of interactions with other players they had. When we look at this Gwen, we would have to say a high B. You had a kind of bizarre, vengeful personality. The best way to describe you is as a highly functional, toxic person. Gwen is an unbelievable champ, and your pick choices are a part of your behavior. You were willing to work with me. We got a lot of work done in the top lane. You had high map awareness. You capitalized on the red team's mistakes, and I would say overall definitely a positive force. Taking a look at this Warwick player, you had extreme experience and extreme mastery. You were more aware of the consequences of what you did and your actions than most people here. You made the decision to deliberately stay away as much as possible when we were having trouble in the bottom lane. Simply put, you only showed your face in the most opportunistic way imaginable. You abused every piece of built-up knowledge that you had. You did things that were only good for you and your ego. You didn't give a damn about the team. You played purely for your own KDA. and you didn't even do well in terms of KDA. A loser with a losing attitude, compensating for the small sausage in between your legs by trying to farm rookies here in the casuals, playing vindictively, never giving a damn about the team objectives and the jungle objectives. This is the type of person that gives Warwick a bad name. This is why you should try other things too, even if you are a Warwick player and you have neither the emotional intelligence or the intellectual intelligence to ever go past this rank or this level of play. A clear C. We have this Yone player going 6-2 and 7. We have a lot of shoulda, woulda, coulda in this game. Many of the people playing the objective and the team fights, the enemy turrets and the enemy base, ended up with a very high personal score. Many of the players who were purely hunting for personal score ended up doing worse. You didn't have any kind of semblance of gratefulness, team player attitude, cooperative mentality, or anything like that, but you did end up doing structural damage to some of the turrets. You also pushed the lane quite well. We will say a B. We have this Can-Deep person playing Fortune, a bit of an unusual attitude in terms of following me around. Going 4, 8, and 6, I would say a B. You didn't melt down. You kept it together. Fortune is an okay choice. You made responsible item choices as well. You did some good structural damage to the enemy, and hopefully you will gradually learn to give up less money to the enemy team so as to prevent them from acquiring items. We have this German boy Jax player with the beautiful name. If you need filth or socialism, then the Germans have you covered. Very little to say here. Transparent, quiet rage, not present in the ping system or in the chat. You were playing angry, attacking 2 and 3 people all at the same time, attacking 2 or 3 people all by yourself. You went 0, 5, and 0, and you quit about 15 minutes in. A C. This is typically the kind of behavior you get when you've been getting tilted in previous games. We have this Diana player going 3 and 6, Leandri, Boots, and I believe Riftmaker going all out fanatically offensive as Uzada. I would say a low B. You didn't complain, you soldiered up, you didn't make problems for anyone. Hopefully you will understand down the line that playing Diana all out offensively is one of the hardest things that you can do in the game, that it nearly always fails for anybody. I've seen it work maybe twice in my life, if that. Gradually, you should come to find that a playstyle with more sustain will alleviate a lot of pressure from both you and your team. But this is not a KDA score, this is a behavior score. You showed up, and that's enough. We have this RE player going all out fanatically offensive. You ended up going 2 and 7 and 2. You had a bizarre compulsive personality where you had to absolutely finish off everyone that was low health, which got you killed many times. You handed over a bunch of money to the enemy team, but even until the last moment, you kept going and you kept trying. I would say a low B. We have this Vex player going 4, 6, and 5. You made some opportunistic plays. You understood Vex pretty well. This is probably a rather low score for you. This strikes me as a person who has a much better record. You went all out fanatically offensive, but that is acceptable as a shooter. I would say a B. You did some good damage. In many ways, your team just couldn't keep up. Now, if you would ever get to the point where you would question just why that is, then you may actually end up making some progress down the line. And at that point, you won't put yourself in situations such as these anymore where your talents go to waste. AB. We have this streamer player going 2-5-7 on Galio in the casual, a proof that you can go and stream no matter what your talent level may be. I would give this player a B. I think you had a great ID by itself. Galio is one of the best picks that you could ever make. You chose very responsible items in Thornmail and Heartsteel, some of the best items in the game, especially for the casuals. I think you definitely made a mistake by leaving the bottom lane at some point. It really was the beginning of the end when you did. It's important to learn that your teammates' ability to adapt is not endless. And if you keep putting them in new, uncomfortable situations, if you keep steering them down chaos and unpredictability, then they won't be able to back you up in any proper manner. Overall, we would have to say a 5-0-5 game was able to slay only 57 mobs in this game. I ended up with the third largest pool of wealth and pool of gold. This perfect KDA of a 5-0-5 is largely due to the build choices of the enemy team, and we have the 4 mages on Team Red to thank for that. Because as soon as I get my hands on Koenig, you're completely cut off, and you won't really land any significant damage on me anymore at that point. And if I'm not mistaken, indeed, there were times where you would see this Vex player throughout this game just leaving or getting stressed because everything that he fired my way did close to 0 damage because of my defensive choices. You're making it very easy on people when mage damage is all they have to protect themselves from. These are typically games that help us get to our mastery goal much faster. Taking a look at the scoreboard here, every single one of these players on Team 1 has a bunch of wasteful spending going on. You got the Mercury Treads on Warwick, 1,250 gold in exchange for 20 magic resist. We have the pathetical little buckler on this Yone player, ridiculously trying to backpedal, clearly feeling guilt-tripped because of the fact that Yone is too fast for you to handle as a player. Out of all of these guys alongside me, this Candy person playing Fortune probably has the best build, going 4 and 8. Not that much wasteful garbage on your Fortune build. By contrast, we have this unfortunate creature Warwick player. And in general, isn't it a sad thing that we can't have something like Warwick in the game without it turning into a bullying hazard and a cliche? Well over 50 mastery this guy. Turned the whole game into nothing but proving to himself over and over and over again that he can beat up experimenting beginning players on Warwick, not trying to collect mastery, not trying to find this champion or move on to the next tier. No, just turn the whole game into beating up beginners on the most naturally base stat overpowered champion in the video game. You would love it if Warwick players and fans could set an example in some of the ranked tiers of what endurance and team play means. Unfortunately, we find most of them showing off what a small sausage they have and beating their pathetic little chest as they are bullying rookies and new players. Moving on.
might of Lokvar approaches. Thunder! Urge to kill rising. The might of Lokvar approaches. To plunder. To action! Urge to kill rising. To plunder. The might approaches. action! To plunder!
An enemy has been slain.
I'm going. The might of Lockfar approaches. To action! By steel! Urge to kill.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Plunder. I'm going. The might of Lockfar approaches.
Turret plating will fall soon.
Urge to kill rising.
An enemy has been slain.
To plunder.
spree.
Urge to kill rise. I'm going.
Your turret has been destroyed.
To plunder. To action! Urge to kill rise. The might of Lokfar approaches.
Shut down.
Plunder. I'm going. To action! The might of Lokfar approaches. Urge to kill rising.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
I'm going. To plunder.
Shut down.
The might of approaches.
Your turret has been destroyed. Rampage. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Urge to kill rising. I'm going. To plunder. To action!
Killing spree. An enemy has been slain.
Urge to kill rising.
Has destroyed a turret. An ally has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. Your team has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret. An ally has been slain. Your team has destroyed an inhibitor.
To plunder. Urge to kill.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
approaches. destruction! To plunder. The might of Lokvar approaches.
An enemy has been slain. Double kill. An enemy has been slain. Victory!